So probably you don't have like the full picture. And the idea today is that I'm gonna very quickly show you a little bit what we are about and what you can expect from these workshops. And it's going to be very practical because one thing you will see from us is that we are a community of practitioners. So we are not theorists of AI, and which I think is amazing. And I wish I had the time to read and to think. And I think there are cleverer people out there doing that. But our community is the community of doers. So we're gonna do a lot of things because to me this is the way that I also learned this technology. So a little bit about me. Probably you already saw like this comic that I created. I also created a video because, of course, I was looking for ways to explain a little bit my background, my experience. So I've been working in civil society. I work in the European Commission at Comms Advisor. I also work in the European elections campaign 2019. And then, of course, probably you will have guessed that I wasn't in the Treaty of Rome. I wasn't advising Charlemagne. And I wasn't there when the myth of Europa was founded, right? My story is a little bit like different from the rest because I started working in the Europe in the investment banking industry in London using this technology to help banks make more money. And after Brexit, I decided to drop it and to say I want to start helping pro-European organizations win and succeed and that means implementing technology, right? Back then was micro-targeting, then there were like so many things, and then at the end of the day, I came back to the technology that I was using when I was back in the investment banking industry, which was artificial intelligence. And this is why also I give the looks of the investment banking industry. That's why the best and all of it, in case you were wondering. Now, I said a few things about our community. Our value proposition a little bit is that we know who we are. We are communication professionals working in policy, working in advocacy, NGOs, but we are the communications people in those teams. And we don't find, and we want to learn in a way that is affordable, that is tailored to what we are actually doing in Brussels, because most of the training is generalist, and in a way that is collaborative. So I think there is a lot of content, a lot of places to learn online, but it really sucks to do it alone. The idea is that we're going to learn with other pro-Europeans, right? And when I say pro-Europeans, I mean like in the broader sense. We usually don't invite people who are working for extreme political parties in the far right, for example, or who are working on very untransparent and very like lobbies that are doing something that we consider not to be in the spirit of the European Union, like protection of consumers, health, human rights, etc. Right? So this is a little bit our community. What we do is we learned a lot. So and the community chooses what we learn. So um, last year, what we did was to vote on what was the biggest trends that were going to shape our profession, and AI was the top one. And this is why we are creating these workshops. So it's directly coming from our community. Right now, the community, they are voting on the next topic, and it really looks like a strategy. And the part of storytelling is gonna be the choice for the next few months, right? After we are done with the after we are done with the AI, we will start doing storytelling, and that's how we do, right? We do one thing, and then depending on what the community chooses, then we do sessions online or in Brussels, right? Like for example, this Friday we have one in Brussels. We have a lot of networking, so we gather, we have some drinks, we have fun. So it's like really, being part of the community is really, really cool. And sometimes we have some unexpected guests, which of course, if you follow us, this was a joke that we made, that Ursula von der Leyen took part in our session. So you will learn how to do this type of things, by the way, and we do them a lot in an ethical and a smart way, right? So I think that is what set us aside, that we don't use this and then to confuse people or to trick people. We are doing this in a transparent way to make people, laugh, to make people learn, and always without bad intentions. I think that's the idea for this workshop. So this tailored training again comes directly from what the people chose. This might be different in June. Maybe in June people will choose for something else, and we will plan things accordingly. What we do is we always try to do it in steps. Level one is the level one and level two. There will be a level three, most likely, later this year. And then we always have one date that is taking place online and one in Brussels. It's one or the other. Like some people come to both, but really it's exactly the same workshop. So those are the dates. We're doing level one in February, level two in March, and we leave some space in between because what we want people is to be able to do level one, get some practice, and then at the latest, 1 month later, come back to level two. We will pick it up from where we left it, and then the idea is by end of March, you're gonna be able to do a lot of things, right? And that's how we do for everything, by the way. So those are the dates and the different ways you can take part. We're gonna go inside each one of them. I'm gonna focus a little bit more on level one because I think the people in this conversation, you are more like level one type of users. Here, what we're going to do is we're going to learn about responsible use of AI. We're going to learn to prompt. We're going to learn many tools, how to use Canva, how to use CapCode, a little bit of creating images and videos, just a little bit with very basic tools. And everything without code. So you are not expected to even, like, all you're expected is to type with your fingers. Nothing that we use requires code of any kind. And this is how it looks, the agenda. So it's a very intense workshop. So it's like one day we start with fundamentals, and then we end up with building agents. And that's like you might think this is a big leap. It is not. It's going to be very, very simple, right? Those are the examples that you will build yourself. One is, for example, you will learn how to build AI agents that are going to help, for example, on your that are going to help you writing, for example, LinkedIn post. So instead of writing this post that everyone knows they are AI generated, you are going to be able to create an agent that is going to learn about how you want to. Sorry, I think I clicked I wanted to click this link. Yeah. And then the most interesting thing is like, for example, there is one on, let me see, the one on LinkedIn. Should I click on it? So you will learn how to do this LinkedIn assistant. Very easy. You just need to tell the agent how you want to sound, and then the agent will help you be closer, be truthful to yourself. So what you are doing is not using ChatGPT to write on LinkedIn, but you have an assistant that is gonna make sure that everything you propose is going to be aligned with your tone of voice, your guidelines, etc. And we're gonna do this being like very smart about it, right? because we're gonna look at your LinkedIn analytics, and we're gonna look at what was the best thing that or the top performing post, what was common among those top performing posts, and then that is gonna inform, the AI assistant. So we're gonna do, it's not only doing one agent, but it's also building and training an agent to do the work that you want. We also are gonna do this one on smarter applications to EU funds. This is like a really interesting one because basically you create an agent that knows everything about the EU funding and what are the requirements, but also can learn everything about a specific project that you're applying for. You can upload past projects that were successful, past projects that were not successful, and then you can make sure that you use this agent to make sure that you don't repeat mistakes, and then you do more of the things that worked in the past. So this is again like having a colleague reminding you about what are the rules, what is the important for evaluators, what we can learn from the past, but ultimately it is you, the one that is going to write this report, right? Those are the links where I recorded myself doing it step by step, okay? Level 2 is a little bit more advanced because what we will do is we're gonna do AI images and videos in a more professional level. I'm gonna show you how to create, for example, how to put von der Leyen in the picture, like the pictures that I sent in the past, or how can she be dancing or cooking in the middle of Delhi, like in this video where we actually went viral on TikTok for whatever reason, and because we put the commission president to, let's see, we put her to today nothing wants to work. Yeah, we put the commission president to do some street food cooking in Delhi. And then I think we hit the Indian market, and then this video went incredibly viral. But also more interesting, so the idea with this level 2 is that you can actually create videos and images that are not only for fun, like this one, but actually to create them as final products for your communication, right? And they can be serious. And we will always say, please explicitly say you're using AI, because what we're going to teach you, it might look like real. So this is the level of, in level 2, we're going to really go to this level of almost like if you blink it, you miss it, right? That is the step that we're going to make in level 2. And then we are going to start looking at automations to save you a lot of time and money. For example, we're gonna build you a free media monitoring tool. So if you were paying for someone to do this for you, then you just, you can create an automation that every day goes outside, read the news, find information, or find if you have been mentioned in the news, and then delivers a report to you in the way that you want. And we are also I'm going to show you, in case you are working in advocacy, I'm going to share with you how to take the whole transparency register, right? The whole transparency register. Let's see if I am a little bit more lucky now with the. This is the result. We're going to show you how to create this workflow. Very simple. Again, there is no code, there is nothing involved, just clicking boxes. And basically, what this workshop is doing is looking at members of the European Parliament. It could be like organizations in the transparency register, right? And it's gonna find the people who you need to reach out to, or what issues they are usually involved in, etc. And it's going in the case of this automation workflow, it can even send email on your behalf, which we never advise, or we always say, do all the research that you want, but then before you send the email, let me take a look. In other words, we're going to show you to do automations with AI, but having a strong human in the loop and a strong guardrails, right? This is the idea. Um, this is the idea with level 2. Now, how we work. This is the most difficult part always. We have three schemes or three plans, starting from students to young professional under 30 years old and the standard. And the idea is that you stay with us for 1 year and you have access to absolutely everything. All the workshops, the ones that are published, the ones in the future, networking. We have a really cool networking platform that allows you to access lots of people directly. It's like a LinkedIn, but for us, only for us. And we have the option to pay monthly or to pay yearly. Of course, yearly is always more interesting if you know you're going to commit. And you can do this on our website. Domingo can share now the links, or most of our people, they get paid. This gets covered by the employer. So you just put us in contact with them. We issue an invoice, and then that's it. And then you don't have to do anything else. And it might be part of your budget that you have for training. If you want these workshops to be done at your office, we can also talk. And then that would be, it would also be interesting that you're part of the community, because it will basically mean that we do it at a more preferential price for you. All right. So that was a little bit about what I wanted to say today. I'm gonna take questions, and then after the questions, I am going to ask you to vote on which exercise do you want to do together. And I'm gonna explain this exercise so that you see today you see something and you see some and you can ask questions, and we do it together. And I'm gonna propose you like a few ideas that we can do together. Are there any questions before we move to that part, to the practical part? All right, no questions. Feel free to reach out in case you need. Now, let's do the exercise together. I want you to vote in the chat, or you can also unmute yourself. Um, you we can do together. There are several options. One is we can pick up together one organization. It can be a fictional one, or it can be your own organization. And then together we're gonna launch you a campaign, right? We're gonna launch a campaign with images, video, etc. Right? Because that is, let's say, this is what we do in level 1. This is one of the exercises we do. We launch one campaign together using this guide. The other option is to build an assistant, like an agent that it's a little bit more advanced than doing the prompts, for, you tell me, for LinkedIn, for EU project management, for social media. It's really up to you. So let's see. Let's talk. Which one would you like? The ones that are still in the call. For example, you can write it on the chat. Okay,
I
Pablo and
assume
Adrian. Yep.
Sorry, I assume for the prompt pack though, you would need to know the problem statement, the strategy, because what it's basically generating is tactics related to all of that, no?
Oh yeah, you will love this. I don't. I mean, if we had it, they would be. It would be even better. But I don't need that because the agent is gonna do all that for. Sorry, the exercise is gonna do all that for us. Of course, it's an exercise. This is not
Hmm.
meant to, but in 10 prompts, without knowing anything about your organization, we get to a level that it will impress you, right?
So then it would tailor messages according to audience personas without you even having to do that research.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's of course you should again, those are exercises for you
Hmm.
to actually spend hours and but I would say this is like a really it's a really good one. It's a really good one and people are impressed with the results. Okay, so
Okay.
we
Then I
have
vote for that.
all right. So let's do since we have two for the agents. One, I think we can do both. Okay, because I if we stay a little bit more, then we can do more. Let's start with the 10 prompts, and I'm gonna make them a little bit. I'm gonna make it fast, okay? And I'm gonna stop in where I think is more interesting, and then we do the agent. All right. Okay. So for the prompts, if you go to this link that I dropped, those are the actual prompts that we will use in the level one. Of course, we're gonna dedicate more than 10 minutes. We're gonna dedicate probably about an hour or so to do this exercise and to explain every single one, why it is important, and we're gonna compare the outputs, etc. But for a demo, I think it's actually it's gonna be quite enough. All right. Can I say, Evelyn, can I take your organization as a test one, or you are not comfortable, or we can create another one? I really don't. If someone wants to volunteer, and then we do it for their organization.
Yeah, you can take our organization.
Yeah. So your organization is Wise Angle.
Yeah,
What's your website?
it's my tango. There
Okay.
we go.
This one?
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Okay. So again, in the level one, we will start with the basics of prompts, of prompting, and which means why are you, or why it is important, and this is so critical this is so critical for the agents, right? Why it is important to provide personalities and to give roles to your agents, because if you say you are a public affairs strategist uh, or if you say you are a comedian or you say you are a conspiracy theorist, the outputs from that chat are going to be very, very different, right? And so that's why, when thinking about agents, each agent will execute for you a very specific task. But it is important that it is important that you give and explain what the role is, why it is important, and all the rules, right? But let's say that we are a public affairs strategist representing Waisango. I provide a website just to make sure. And I want this chat to do a little bit of search online to tell me a little bit more about your organization. I'm going to show you how to make sure that always trusted sources will be retrieved. Because one of the things that worry us the most is hallucinations, right? Or this technology making stuff up. So, how can you make sure that all the answers that you get will be well referenced so that you double check? right? So it's very easy for you to know, where did they take this security and inclusion? But they took it from the Alameda project. Perfect. And then it's going to be easier for you to not be to not be lied to by this technology. All right. So far, I think Evelyn, so good. I'm pretty sure those are things that you are familiar with, etc. Then with the second prompt, which again I didn't say, but you can copy and paste the prompt by clicking on this copy button, and then you copy the whole thing, right? But of course, you can turn this with the second prompt. What you are doing is effectively turning this chat into a professional storyteller who has a very deep knowledge on your industry, who knows about the EU public affairs, and who you are going to give specific instructions. Here, the point being that unless you know as a professional what you want to do, if you do storytelling, you really understand the frameworks and you have experience doing this, unless you don't tell these tools what you want, these tools can really, and this technology can really take you to a really weird place where you don't feel in control. So then we will always, during the session, we will emphasize on the idea that you are the professional. You are the one who knows what a good story has, that you know about narrative, you know about the hero, the enemy, all the things that are part of a storytelling structure. If you don't know this, but you know that storytelling is important, then you can also do some research and say, hey, I think storytelling is important. Which structure should I use? So again, these tools are helping you become smarter, right? And here we have a story about your organization, where this is the level where I start like understanding a little bit what you guys do. But you are on a quest, right? You're on a quest to advance not through dramatic revolutions, for the EU to advance not through dramatic revolution, but through collective progress, through complexity. And you want people, you want policymakers to feel motivated, or are more motivated by avoiding failure than chasing vague success, right? You want to use the frame of stewardship, the public value. And then you have, for example, your hero of your organization, which again, I don't know anything about. It's the market. So, for you, that's gonna be the public good that you're trying to build. You, of course, wise angle is the ally of the hero of the market. Your enemy is the fragmentation of the market, the policy silos. And of course, the ally of the enemy, it's the polarization, it's the distrusting expertise, etc. Right? And then you can have like a little bit of what is the plot. You can read about it, Evelyn. I think probably it's gonna be surprising, especially the part when it tells you about the story, right? It says, if I had to tell a story about your organization, so probably I would start with the story of this nurse in a regional hospital, who is adapting to digital health tools that promise efficiency but require trust and training, right? I don't know if that makes sense to you, Evelyn.
Yeah.
But perfect.
Sorry,
And
I'm
then
listening. I'm just multitasking.
it's okay. It's okay. But then you can go on, there are 10 prompts like that. You can go on and say, okay, I need, for example, to find a message on what's a topic that you care about recently? For example, the omnibus, for example, is that something? Is that something that
The
you?
cardiovascular plan.
Okay. Okay. So again, you can put this agent to do research for you to say,
Mm,
look, I really care about the EU. I want you to look for public opinion. I want you to look for statistics. I want you, whatever you think it is important. There are like a million ways to do this, and you will do the research, and then you will give me as an output. You are going to give me messages, you are going to give me ideas, and in the course, Evelyn, I'm going to show you and everyone else how important it is to start using the reasoning
extended
models,
thinking. Yeah.
um, and what are the differences, because this technology now is moving towards deeper thought and transparency, because you can really analyze in this thinking, you can see what they are doing, which websites they are checking, what decisions they are making. Because now what you have is not a chat answering
Hmm.
questions. What you have is an intelligent agent trying to do some research for you. All right. We are going to go even deeper, and I'm going to show you deeper ways of doing research in a way that you would be shocked how deep they can go, because this that you see on the screen is thought for, in this case, 1 minute and a half. There are other agents that are going to be thinking for 10 minutes. So
Mm.
if in 1 minute it got to this place, right? It's citing statistics. It has found documents from the council, from the commission, etc. Imagine in 10 minutes, and imagine if you understand exactly what to ask, and to understand exactly what to ask is very easy, in the sense that it is the same things that you would ask to a colleague or to a junior professional to do. You're gonna research in this way, you're gonna prioritize these sources, you're gonna read all these documents, and then you're gonna give it back to me in this way. And always, always, I will insist, every single claim, I want to know where you took it from, because I'm gonna double check. Because now your role is not going to be so much as a researcher, but as making sure that there is no like the findings are correct. Okay. You can also we're going to create like a stakeholder map on this same issue, right? And we're going to imagine that you have a junior professional and say, hey, go online and do the stakeholder map of the, the people from the commission, the organizations that I should reach out to, if they are supportive, neutral, skeptic. Also, why not find the issues that they care about, and since asking is free, um, give me in one sentence how I can win them over, right? So, for example, for DG Sante, which is supportive of the EU cardiovascular plan, maybe you offer them implementable tools and stakeholder coordination for turning the plan into measurable outcomes. But if you go a little bit down and we find someone who is neutral, for example, the think tank European Policy Center, they seem to have, a little bit not, they need a little bit more persuasion. So maybe you want to reach out to them, offering convening value, giving them evidence briefs, etc., participating in their events. Like, again, this is, and you can build like a very simple yet very informative stakeholder map in a matter of minutes. And then, of course, you need to validate that every single row is correct. All right. In the actual workshop, we're gonna go deeper into this, but this is we're gonna see how we can make this stakeholder map more complete, how we're going to look at more specific examples. We are also going to look at how to launch a campaign. I'm going to say, okay, for this campaign, I want to launch a campaign to convince these stakeholders. That's prompt 8. And I want to use both one-on-one meetings, but also I want to do a little bit of paid media, a little bit of social media, a little bit of events, traditional events, etc. And then it will draft a beginner like it will draft a plan or some ideas that you can do for each one, right? So of course you should meet Digisante. You also need to organize meeting with this cardiovascular health group in the European Parliament. You can do post on LinkedIn. It is suggesting LinkedIn. I didn't say LinkedIn, but it says, hey, based on your topics and on your target audience, LinkedIn seems to be like a really good place because that's where cabinet members, stakeholders, experts actually engage, right? And then we can do all the way to actually creating the content for one specific LinkedIn post. So you can really go one by one and say, okay, now let's create this. Now let's plan this breakfast with Digisante. Give me the agenda, etc. But at least this is like a beginner for all that. And then we end the exercise creating an image for the campaign. And I'm going to show you how to very simply create images, right? How you create images? Well, it's very important that you don't create images out of the blue, but it is important that you give these systems all the context that you can. And the context is the conversation, all right? The context is the conversation. The more you have conversations with the chat, the more it's going to learn about you, and the better it's going to understand what you need. And so, for example, we end up always with this idea of, okay, let's create like a visual concept. Let's create like a visual concept that you can turn into an image. And of course, the key for images and AI generated images, some people think that you need to be very knowledgeable and do like lots of engineering. The reality is not that. The reality is that what you need to do is to simply tell these systems what is your idea. For example, I think I want a visual concept that is a map of Europe with citizen silhouettes, and there is like a glowing, there is like a subtle ECG line, right? And I want that to be clean. It's EU institutional aesthetic, etc. Once you tell them what you want to see, that's your effort. Like your effort is, I want to see this. Then the systems, they are really good at say, okay, so in order to produce what you want to see, this is exactly the instructions that I need. And once you provide the instructions, they create the image for you. Does that mean that you can go and use these visuals on your communications? In level 1, I will say maybe. In this case, this would be great because here, what I would do, I would add my logo and I would publish that, or I would use it for the event. I think it's pretty good. Don't you think, Evelyn?
Yeah, I'm just wondering though, if you have 10 people putting in a similar prompt, will it just generate the exact same image? So how do you
Yeah, the really good question. Answer is no, right? And that's what we teach in the level 1. These systems are completely opaque. So if you do exactly what I have done, you're gonna get something different. Even if I say repeat this again, right? I'm gonna copy and paste. I'm gonna get something different, okay? And we will explain why. What is and I'm gonna give you solutions. For example, firstly, the more specific you are, the more controlled the output will be. So that is the rule of thumb. But if you want to start creating these images in a way that you can use them in your communications, you're gonna have to use other tools. ChatGPT is not the best tool for images. And in level 2, I'm gonna show you how to actually create images where you can control the output and you can do a lot of things, right? You have more control, again, you don't need to be a designer. You just need to tell these systems what you want. And then try a lot. You're gonna have to try a lot of things, right? Those systems are also very, very smart because you can say, for example, hey, here, for example, in this area, I want to show the EU flag, right? So imagine like those systems, you can imagine that you have a designer working next to you, Evelyn, and then you say, yeah, I like this, but I want this change. Then you just tell them, and then the system is going to use it, right? Look here, I'm going to show you how the same prompt, you see, I repeated the prompt, and the only difference I think is the color, right? So I'm going to show you how to get exactly what you want. But if you don't give the exact instructions, then each copy can be different, right? So I'm going to show you to get as close to what you need as you can, okay? For example, here is the same one, and we have added the EU flag. You see how easy it is? And you can say, I don't want these people, I want scientists instead, and then you can make changes by simply saying where you want the changes and what exactly you want to see, okay? So again, this is, and then we will generate videos together, right? So that is part of this is part of let's say in level 1, like by the end of the morning, of the first morning, you get to something like this. Understanding fully how to make this replicable, right? So it's not only following this exercise, but, it can be, on your day to day, all right? On the agents, on the second exercise for the agents, is there a specific agent that you would like to build for a specific purpose, the ones who voted for agents? Let me show you, for example, how to build an agent to help you on social media. And again, this is part of level 1. So Evelyn, even if you think this is like very advanced, the change to agents is really, really, really easy, because what you're going to do is, or what we will do together is, we will use for ChatGPT, they are called GPTs, but for other AI providers, the name will be different. But there is always something in common that all the agents have. Agents have a name. For example, we can say LinkedIn AI assistant, right? Agents have instructions, and agents have a knowledge that you give, right? And knowledge that is that, let's say, you curate, knowledge that sets you different from the rest. So the knowledge here, this part of knowledge, is really important. Let's see an example. let's see, for example, that we say we want to create an agent that only, thank you, Evelyn, and we'll be in touch. Hopefully, I'll see you soon. For the agents, it's really important that we provide instructions that can be very, very simple. For example, you can say you are an expert on writing LinkedIn post in the field of EU affairs. Okay, you are going to review an input from me or from the user, and provide a better copy, more aligned with the style guide documented in your knowledge. That's it. This would be like a very powerful agent. What do we need? We need the style guide. Let's say, for example, that we're going to continue with the example from Evelyn, and then we're going to ask, please create a short style guide for communicating on LinkedIn. All right. Create it in PDF, right? So you can say, okay, based on everything we know, on everything this chat knows, we're going to create a communication style guide that we should follow. And the result of that, of course, you need to work on that style guide for longer, and you need to consult with your team, etc. That style guide, we're going to put it in our knowledge. And now you will see very simply, every time that we propose to write about something on LinkedIn, what we're going to do is we're going to ask our assistant first, and the assistant is going to follow the instructions. It's going to say, okay, I am an expert on LinkedIn post. The first step is you're going to review the input from the user and assess whether it matches, whether it aligns with our knowledge, with our style guide, right? And then step 2 is you will provide an improved version of the message aligned with the style guide. Okay, as simple as that. What we need here is the actual style guide that you should work on. You simply upload it as a document. And now every time that you say, hey, I need to write on LinkedIn, you are going to come to this agent, and then you're going to say, for example, it's been great to share this time with AI enthusiasts who are working for a better and healthier Europe. Okay? So what this is going to do is going to take my first message and it's going to follow my instructions. I said, step 1, you're going to review the input, and that's what it did. Your message is positive and human, but it's too generic. It lacks this, and that. And then it does the step 2, which is it gave me an improved version that is aligned to the style guide, and is going to be even more helpful. It's going to say, and now I can also do this or that for you. All right. And this is an agent. Imagine we will spend in the actual workshop, we're going to spend the second half of the workshop. I'm going to show you how to create very powerful agents. I'm going to show you how to create very strong knowledge based on what actually your organization is known for and what your organization is unique for. And I promise you that by the end of the session, again, this is level 1, by the end of the session, you will be using not only ChatGPT and similar tools in a way that you understand, in a way that is responsible, in a way that is ethically, but also looking at the opportunities, looking at what you can do, these tools can do for you. And you will end the session with building your first agent. You're gonna end the session knowing how to generate images and videos. And then once we all do this together during the month of February, either online or in person, then we will see each other in March to take your AI game to the next level, right? I took a few more minutes than I wanted, but I think it was worth it. Are there any questions about that from the people who are still in the call?
No, not from me, thank you.
All right. So hopefully that was helpful, and please feel free to reach out for any questions, and hopefully I'll see you either online or in Brussels in the next few weeks. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.